Right, here we go. Instagram fam and my Facebook family. I am talking to both of you at one time right now, so if I get a little distracted between one comment section or the other, I apologize. But as you guys join in, let me know where you are at in the world, what time it is where you're at in the world. Let me know how you are feeling this beautiful Thursday. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So today I want to talk about, are you tired of playing by the rules? And are you ready to break them, but maybe you just don't know how, right? I am talking to probably a woman, right? If you're a guy, this still applies to you. But again, guys, I work with women, so like I'm going to talk to women. But hey, Joshua, I see you. Welcome. So talking about how to break the rules well, right? Not all of us are cut out to follow all of the marketing rules and get super involved in like filters and schemes and all these crazy technological things that, just don't resonate with you, like make you want to punch yourself in the face. Like, I don't have the patience to sit down and read a marketing book. I'm sorry, but I don't. And if you're like me, you probably don't want to do that either. So here's the thing, guys. There is a special group of, hey, Joshua, there's a special group of people out there who, like me, do not really care about following the rules, right? We don't really value the prestige or the respect or this weird thing that exists around, like, oh, I climbed the ladder and I did it just the way that like you're supposed to do it. And I'm like the classic story of like how success happens. And like, that's just not everybody, right? So if you're like me, that's you. You're not like that. So here's the thing. Once you learn these rules, right, you know enough about them to know what you're supposed to do, what they're supposed to look like, like the general pathway that people are going to take to get to what you want. But it just doesn't feel good for you. You've tried that way and it's not working, right? You've asked the professionals for help and their tips, their advice, what worked for them just isn't happening for you. Hey guys, as you all join, comment down below. Let me know where you're at in the world. Hey Ruben, I see you on Instagram. I'm on 2 different platforms right now, guys, so if I'm a little distracted, that's why. Still pretty new at this whole doing 2 things at once thing. Yes, hi Ruben. Ask questions as we go along. Let me know where you're at. Let's talk about how to break rules well, right? So we have all got this thing called our intuition. And as a spiritual entrepreneur, as believing that I am serving a purpose that is for the greater good, being rooted in a spiritual place, right? Believing that there's something at power in my life other than just my brain and my body. And yeah, it's pretty obvious that we're not always driving the steering wheel or using the steering wheel. Nonetheless, breaking the rules in a way that creates opportunity for that divinity to kind of step in and give you exactly what you want and almost clear the pathway for things to work, right? Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to take action. If you guys have ever watched Eat, Pray, Love, there's a beautiful example of this on there, and it's something along the lines of like someone's begging to the statue of like Mary saying like, oh, please, please, like I want to be rich, please bring me money. And like finally one day the statue comes to life and she's like, buy the ticket, like buy the lottery ticket, like give me an opportunity to enact in your life, right? So that's what we're talking about when I'm talking about breaking rules well. If you understand the general way that people go about making success and making your goal happen in life, you can look at that. Take the parts that feel good and then leave the things that don't resonate with you, right? If you are not about cold calling people to get sales, don't do it. If it doesn't feel good in your gut, you shouldn't do it, right? This is where the intuition comes into play. You break the rules that feel good to break. Now, don't take that out of context and don't be like, you shouldn't murder people, okay? So, like, don't go there, right? I'm sure you guys are all on that level of understanding that. But apply it within your situation. Really think about where in my work, where in my goals, am I doing things that don't feel good? And the only reason why I'm doing them is because I think I'm supposed to, right? How many of us are there? If you guys agree with this, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me something to let me know that you're resonating with this. We're doing things because we think we're supposed to do them, not because we want to do them, right? And here's the problem with that, guys, especially women. We are emotional creatures. We thrive off of creativity. We thrive off of emotional feedback. We thrive off of being in this environment where we're creating an essence that is nourishing and filling our cup, right? I'm not a guy, so I can't speak from a guy's perspective. We definitely have divine differences. So like, let me know, guys, is this stuff resonating with you? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, how do you experience this in your body, in your world? Moving forward. So, whew, that was a mouthful. And I'm kind of losing my train of thought. This happens all the time. It's awful. Okay, so with breaking rules and with, there we go. Choosing what feels good. So let's say you guys have set a goal for yourself to, I'm going to use an example off of a woman who reached out to me on Instagram today who wants to start selling her art as her business, right? And the conversation went super well, and it started with, you know, she responded back to something I had posted up on Instagram and was like, hey, I love what you just said. I'm going to go buy a notebook and I'm going to get super clear on my goals and I'm going to make it happen. And I was like, whoa, 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 sister, don't even wait to go buy the notebook. Like, that's a limiting belief that like you got to go do that and you got to be organized to get this shit out on paper and like do something about it, right? If you guys have a dream, if you have a desire, if you feel like there's a purpose that you need to be fulfilling that you're not, there is nothing that is worth waiting for to start taking action towards those goals. Now, that being said, breaking the rules does require you to know how they work, right? Like, I couldn't show up online and expect to attract my soul clients if I didn't understand a little bit about marketing online, right? I know that it's important to come on and do lives. I know that it's important to show people the value that they're investing in before they ever have to commit to investing, right? So those are basic rules I understand. But guess what? I'm not paying for Facebook ads. I'm not like creating some weird structure of like clickbaity titles to like get people to click on my shit, because I know if I show up and I speak the truth, the right people are going to come here, they're going to hear me, and it's going to resonate and they're going to stay, right? You guys don't want to do things that feel bad. You don't want to do things that feel gross, because when you start doing that, you're going to attract those people who are doing things that don't feel good in their life and doing things that feel gross into your business. Right? Speaking directly to coaches here for a moment, or directly to people who are in a service-based industry, and really we all are, we're all providing a service of one sort or another. Depending on what place you take action from is going to decide the quality of customer, the quality of client that you receive, that is attracted to you, right? Does anyone have questions yet? It's a good place to pause. Is this resonating? Someone reach out, let me know how this stuff is digesting, guys. Cool, great, awesome. I'm gonna keep going. So you have to come from a place of power and a place of declaration when you are taking action towards your goals, right? If you guys caught live video 1 or 2 from earlier this week, if you didn't, no worries, they're stored on my website. You know that we talked about a 6-step process to setting goals for your boss babe, your next level, your highest self, right? And how to embody those goals before they happen so that they're expedited, right? So kind of going back to that, when we're talking about making decisions for where we need to go, right? Do not make decisions to reach those non-negotiable goals out of a place of fear, out of a place of lack, out of a place of I should do, I might do, I need to. No, it's I want to. Make decisions from a place of I want to, and act on actions that feel good, because then that creates your reality. You are going to actively attract things that feel good and things that agree with those actions, right? I don't want to stand here, or I'm sitting, I don't want to sit here and talk to people and talk in a way that isn't true to me, because then I'm going to attract clients who are not my soul matched clients. I want clients who are on just about my level, right? I'm here to take the person who's 2 or 3 steps behind me and launch them forward and teach them the things I didn't know when I was making that transition. So here's the thing, guys. If you're my soul client, you know that the standard rules don't work for you. You don't function that way. You're probably that person who was told very early on that you walk to the beat of your own drum, right? If I had a penny for every time I heard that as a child, I wouldn't need to work ever again. Like, money would never, ever, ever run out because, oh my God, I heard it so much. And it's so true, though. I am not someone who can be put into a structure and told to conform, because that's just not who I am. It's not what my purpose is meant to do, right? When I was a dancer, I excelled insanely quick in a very short amount of time because I believed I could, right? Not because I had the technique, not because I had the perfect circumstances or because I had the best environment to excel. It was once I got to a place where I had someone who believed in me, and I had someone who supported me and gave me an outlet to express that high level, like, I'm ready to be a professional dancer self. It manifested into reality because I believed it was possible. So let's take a step back. Let's say you're trying to embrace, hi Sandra, love listening to you. Ah, thanks girl. You know we always have such good conversations. Guys, Sandra is awesome, and she and I vibe so well. So I'm so glad you're here, Sandra. Anyway, coming back to dance. So I excelled quickly, right? And it was because I had the environment and the support to believe that I could. Therefore, I did. So when you are making steps towards your purpose, towards your passions, towards your desires, you guys really want to come from a place of power, of declaration, of clarity, and knowing that what you're reaching for is for something bigger than just a paycheck, right? Something that has really been resonating with me lately. Hi guys, thanks for joining on Instagram. Good to see you all. Awesome. We got so many viewers today. This is great. Okay, cool. So basically, guys, when you're making these decisions, you need to come from a place of power. You need to come from a place of belief. And let's bring it back down to money. So if you watch the first 2 parts of this whole week's little mini series on my little coaching experience with you guys, you know that when you set your non-negotiable goals, you have to set them from a place of power. You have to set them from a place of no doubt, I'm not negotiating with this, they have to happen this month, and they're going to happen this month. You create the action steps for the opportunity to arise, and then you let it be. You trust that the right people will find you, the right things will come through. Now, something that people get, watching you from Pakistan. That's awesome. Welcome. What time is it in Pakistan? So when you guys are making these decisions and you're reaching these goals, don't just focus on the money. Yes, when you are living your divine purpose, when you are stepping into your desires, when you are keeping your cup overflowing, you are going to experience a bigger number in your bank account. It's inevitable. Let's talk about the cycle of giving and receiving a little bit here. This is something that I didn't understand until I invested a huge amount of money in my coach, right? Because I got a taste of the magic with the group program, and then I was like, oh my God, this is it. That was it for me, right? And here's what it was. When you give something from a place of power, when you invest something from a place of, I know this is for me, I'm trusting my gut, I feel it in my soul, this is it. When you invest from that place of like sincere desire and declaration and clarity on what the heck you are doing, magic happens, because instantly, as soon as you give, you receive. And that might not mean you get the check right back in the mail, but it does mean that your needs are going to be met no matter what they are in order for you to stay on that path. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I do that if I maybe don't believe in a God, or I don't believe in Jesus, or whatever it is? This is something that you hold within you, right? Now, I lean into faith through all of my decisions because I believe we are all divinely guided, whether that be the universe or God or angels or oneness, whatever it is that you believe in, all this stuff exists in order for you to lean into it. It's very hard to find courage to take big leaps if you don't feel supported, right? So I have a belief that I have experienced enough and I have embodied enough to know and to trust that when I am following my intuition, that when I am following my gut instincts, I will be supported, period, without a doubt. And I always am. I have never, ever once, ever been in a situation where things don't work out. They always do. You are always supported, whether you want to be or not. Now, that brings me up to kind of a funny thing to talk about, because a big question I get from people more or less looking for my opinion on the matter is, what about all the bad things that happen in the world, right? First of all, I believe that our reality is a reflection of our beliefs, right? It's the most dense manifestation. It's the most dense physical product of our beliefs. So if that's the case, let's say that I believe the world is a really scary place. I am going to see more scary things in my reality because I believe that that's the truth, right? I'm not a quantum physicist, but I know there's plenty of people out there who are going to back this up with quantum theory and expansion and dark matter crap, right? I don't have this stuff memorized, but I've watched enough to know that I am absolutely speaking from a place of like solidarity here. Right? Sandra says, you are light, and in your light there is no darkness. Yes, that is beautiful. That is absolutely right. So, geez, what was I talking about? This happens to me all the time, guys. Like, I get on a roll and then I forget. I don't know what happens. Okay, let me see here. So, you're divinely supported. You are guided, right? By following the 6 steps I outlined in part 1 and part 2, which, you know what, honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and touch base back on them again, because for anybody who's new today, it's going to be really helpful. I'm just going to browse through them super quick. Step 1, what are you not available for this month? Step 2, what are 3 to 5 non-negotiable goals for you? What are you going to accomplish? What action steps will you take for your goals to manifest, or to create opportunities for your goals to manifest? Be sure to leave room for miracles. What does it feel like to reach each of your non-negotiable goals, right? As though it has already happened, as though it is without a doubt set in stone. Embody that feeling as though you already have it. Step 5, identifying limiting beliefs you have around your non-negotiable goals. And then step 6, create, release, trust you are doing detach and release. Trust that you're doing your part, because the reality is a reflection of your beliefs. Everything and your goals are already met. So that was a lot. If you guys didn't watch part 1, part 2, they're on my website. Go check them out. They're under freebies. Watch those. Come back to this. So highlighting the whole, you don't want to focus on the money thing, right? When you focus on the money, you're not embodying the real deep desire that you have, that the byproduct is more money, right? Think about this, guys. Who you are right now, the problems that you have right now are not fixed by money. No matter what it is, paying your bills doesn't get easier just because you have more money. Now, bear with me on that thought. If every time you pay a bill, you feel like, oh my God, I don't want to do this, they're taking my money, I'm going to run out, I never have enough, right? That mindset, that belief that you're telling yourself is still going to exist even if you have more money, right? You have to do the work to shift out of that mindset first before you are ever going to feel different in what you're experiencing. You can't expect, it's like insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different outcome, except this time it's believing the same thing and thinking and talking about the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, thinking that the outcome's going to be different. That's what you guys can control. A lot of times people look at their situation and they say, Kate, I don't got the money, I don't got the time, I don't have the energy. Okay, rather than focusing on things that we maybe can't control that's outside of our bubble, right? Think about the things that you can control. You can control your beliefs, you can control your mindset, you can control your energy leaks. And what do I mean by energy leaks? I mean, what are you giving energy to that is not filling up your cup? Right? And that can be everything from listening to your neighbor complain all day and giving that toxic friendship way too much energy, to just like not nourishing, like just eating crap for breakfast. Like that's the same thing of like not showing up for yourself in that moment to nourish yourself. That's an energy leak. Choosing shitty food to eat, choosing not to exercise, choosing to like go to the job that you hate and be quiet about it and never discuss it and just ignore the problem. That's a huge energy leak, right? You guys have got to trust your desires. You've got to trust your instincts. You've got to trust your intuition. If you ever want to reach those passions and feel fulfilled. So let me try to bring this full circle because I definitely went off on a tangent. If anyone has questions, ask them. Let me know what you're thinking. Tell me your thoughts. Let me help coach you through whatever's going through your head right now and get a taste of what it's like to experience this magic. So bringing us back to breaking the rules and breaking them well, right? You're not just winging things. You're not just showing up and taking random action, hoping that something sticks to the wall. I've heard the phrase like throwing spaghetti at the wall, waiting for something to stick. That's not what you're doing here. You need to get very clear on what you want. You need to get very clear on what action steps you can take based off of your current reality that's going to equivalent and match that next high level you, right? You want those action steps to be action steps that are scary for you now, but feel normal for like the 5K, the 10K, the whatever your next level is you, right? So does anyone want to have anything answered? Does anyone want me to kind of like break down their situation? Otherwise, I'm going to reference back to something that someone said to me on Instagram today, but I'd love to give you guys some personal attention. So let me know what's on your minds. All right, nothing yet. So I'm going to go ahead and give the example from today on Instagram. I had a girl love what I was saying on a live or on a post or something that I was doing. And she was like, yes, like, oh my God, that's so inspiring. I feel like you're talking directly to me. I'm going to go out and buy a notebook, get my goals down on paper, get organized and get things. And I was just like, as soon as she sent it, I was like, girl, wait. You've got a pen and paper in the house somewhere. You've got a phone, right? You've got notes on your phone. Get the shit out now because it is not worth waiting for. Guys, if you have something moving through you, if you are feeling called to follow a desire, if something gives you pleasure, there's a reason why. Your desires are divinely guided, period, right? Hi guys, welcome for all the new people in. Got Veg in the Valley on Instagram. Hi guys, thanks for waving. Hey Richard, long time no see. Thanks for joining in. Awesome guys. Hi, hey, hello. So as I go along guys, ask questions, give me your personal examples and let me coach you through them. Let's use this time wisely, right? Anyway, back to my example with this girl. So I told her, don't even wait to buy the notebook. Like that's a belief you have in your head that is limiting you. You're believing that you have to be organized and you have to have the right notebook in order to move forward, in order to be professional and real and show up in this world with what it is you want to do. Break the rules. You don't need the notebook. No one cares if you have the certification hanging on your wall. And guys, if you're trying to be a doctor or something that takes the education and takes the degree, like I'm not speaking to you right now. I am speaking to the woman who knows she has a passion, who knows she has a service to offer to the world and is feeling like she isn't validated to do it. If your desires are guiding you there, you are absolutely divinely guided there to do it. You do not need validation from anybody. You do not need to follow any of the rules. All you have to do is follow your desires. Now, this can be hard in our world today because, I mean, speaking from personal, experience, ever since the day we go to school, we're told that, don't sing when you want to sing. Don't get up when you want to get up. Don't say no to the teacher when you want to say no to the teacher. And not out of a rude way, but out of like a self, like that's what I want. That's what I desire. I need to go to the bathroom. You are not allowed to go to the bathroom. From day one, we are told that like what our body is telling us and what our minds are trying to speak might not be appropriate, might not be the right time, right? A thing I get all the time, and it's so frustrating, is that after people find out how old I am, everything I say is finally like, oh, well, you're just young and you don't understand yet. And like, oh, you haven't experienced. As you get older, you'll find out. And I just want to like bang my head against a wall because like, if people would stop telling younger people that they don't know what they want, we would not have so many young people reaching for something, reaching for validation, reaching for connection, begging for attention. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't be an epidemic if we just let young people believe that they know what's best for themselves. Now, I'm not saying if you have young children, if you've got teenagers at home, that you need to let them go to the party with the 23-year-old and get drunk that night. Like, I'm not saying that. Again, guys, everything is within a perspective here. But what I am saying is that we have this belief ingrained inter what? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Ingrained in us that what we initially desire might not be appropriate, might not be the right time. You might not be allowed to feel that right now. It's wrong, right? And I am here to tell you the exact opposite. Our desires are divinely guided. I could say it over and over again because, guys, until that sentence feels normal to you, you will never experience the magic of what it's like to truly and deeply follow your desires. Awesome. Amen, Sandra. Yes. So does anyone have questions so far? Does anyone have a desire that they're begging to share, right? Put it into the reality. This is the first step, right? When you want to bring your desires into reality, talk about them. Guys, just by showing up enough and saying that this is real, by speaking it into existence, by getting it out of your head, by putting it down on paper, you've taken one of the hardest steps. You've acknowledged your own truth, right? And that's half the battle. Getting through the filters that are put over us from such a young age to filter out all the things, hey Carla, to filter out all the things that scare people, right? Now, you can get support from your family. You can get support from your friends to make these big moves and to declare your desires and to take action steps forward towards them. But the reality is, guys, unless you're talking to someone who has taken just as big leaps, just as big risks, just as big investments, they're not going to understand. They're not going to be able to literally coach you through the feelings, the emotions, the transition that it's going to take to get from point A to B to C, D, E, F. It's a constant up level. Now, that being said, I think we live in a very, I don't want to just say masculine world. And when I say masculine, I do not mean male and female at all. We have all got masculine and feminine energy in us at different levels, balanced at different ways all the time, right? It's forever shifting. But I do believe that we live in a very disempowered masculine environment. The earth is out of balance, right? And we're witnessing right now this shift in where we've got more female, more feminine energy stepping up to the plate and saying, hey, we don't have to live like this, right? We can create our own reality. We have women stepping up to the plate and saying, let me share this creative energy with you. Let me show you how to make the transition from super masculine, go, 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 work yourself to death, make more money, never have enough, to abundant and beautiful and blissful and sexy and pleasurable. And the list could go on and on forever, right? And then finding your balance between the two. By no means is anything singularly feminine or singularly masculine. There is this divine polarization throughout our whole world, and without it, things could not move forward. But it's okay to keep it in check. And it's okay to experience something different that you might not have experienced before. Now, coaching the people who are ready to make this transition, right? Let's say you decide today, right now, after watching this live, that you are going to follow steps 1 through 6. You're going to get super clear on your non-negotiables, on your desires, on your action steps, on how you're going to reach those goals and what room you're going to leave for the universe to work. You get super clear on that, but then what, right? Here is the big magic, right? You have got to curate an environment that is going to keep you on that next level self. I touched on this a little bit yesterday about talking about buying the candle that was like $12 and, you know, how I intentionally did not look at the price until after I got home, obviously, because I didn't want that to be something where I was feeling like, okay, I have to be restricted by money because I don't want to feel that way anymore. But basically, guys, I bought that candle because it helps curate an environment for me where I feel like 5K Kate. I feel like 10K Kate, right? The investments that are going to push you further and are going to make you step up into that next level self that you know you can be are going to be the ones that create an environment for you to do that. So how do you do that? How do you go about curating this environment? First of all, you get rid of anything that is actively depleting your cup. This is energy leaks, right? Anything that is making you feel like, oh my God, after I talk to that person, I can't even function, right? Stop talking to that person. And like, you don't have to be a bitch about it, but like, just tell them like, look, I've got a lot on my plate. Like, I've got other stuff to work with. You know, I love you, whatever, but like, I need some space. And like, if they're your friends, if they're your family, I'm pretty sure they will respect that. Obviously, every case is different, but like, bear with me here. Take steps to get rid of the things that are no longer serving you. Thank them for being in your life while they were there. Thank them for serving you while they did, for providing whatever purpose it was that they needed to in your path, but then let it go. And let it go with grace. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Same thing with your environment, guys. All right, cool. Sandra says, my desire is to see Christians, particularly women, set free from false beliefs holding them back. Yeah, that's a really beautiful thing, Sandra. I mean, I was raised as a Protestant Christian and felt very restricted by the church I went to, felt very restricted by the church community, right? Like, and I'm not going to say that this is everyone's experience. I can't speak for everyone, but like, that was my experience. But it served its purpose. It catapulted me into this desire of wanting to make people feel loved and accepted and empowered, right? I'm going to touch on this for a moment. Uncomfortable situations, things that go wrong for us, things that don't feel good, they exist to highlight your desires, right? No matter how dramatic, no matter how small, they exist to highlight your desires. You guys will see on part 2 on my live videos from yesterday that I was talking about a coffee story, and that will clear some of those questions up. So feel free to watch part 2 if you want more info on that. Anywho, hi Jillian, welcome. Cool, so many new faces today. It's awesome, guys. Awesome, cool. So getting right back to it, hopefully, if I can remember where I left off. I can't remember where I left off, so I'm just gonna keep going. Maybe okay, divine balance, right? Started with divine balance. Does anyone want to remind me what I just said? This is the worst part about live videos. I always forget. Like when I stop to say hi to people, I forget where I was at. It's great. Okay, no. So does anyone want to share anything? Does anyone want some questions answered? Does anyone have any questions about anything I've gone over so far? I just really threw a lot at y'all. No. No. Cool. All right, great, guys. So I will probably wrap this up then. I'm going to end on a high note and not a confused note and just go through again steps 1 through 6. And if anything comes up, I'll touch on it. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. So step 1, what are you not available for this month? What are things that you are absolutely not allowing to show up in your life? For me, it's people who are, that's where I was at. Removing things that are no longer serving you in your life. Thanks God, that's great. Okay. Remove things, not only people, not only jobs, not only like these things that are driving you crazy and absolutely killing you within, you know, your capability, your ability, right? But your stuff. Has anyone here ever read the book, The Secret Magic of Tidying Up? I forget the woman who wrote the book, and if I had it right in front of me, I could, oh, it's right here. Yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna show it to you guys. You all should read this book. Hopefully it's not backwards. The life-changing magic of tidying up, not the secret life of tidying up. Well, the secret life of traveling pants sisterhood thing going on there. By Marie Kondo. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but Marie Kondo. So this book was a life changer. This is a book that really helped me clear out my space, let go of the things that were no longer serving me, and allow room for more abundance to come in. All right, cool. We have a comment on Instagram that says, oh, I was just thinking all my clutter is such an energy drain. Yes. Guys, especially women, like we are nesters. It is in our DNA to create homes, right? I forget who the quote is by, but my good friend Annie sent it to me. And within the quote, it said, give a woman a home or a house and she'll make it a home, right? It's in our blood. Yes, thanks. I'll get that book. Yes, please do. It's literally, this book is a step-by-step walking you through how to get rid of your stuff and feel good about it, right? Because I used to be someone who was like, oh, but my mom gave it to me and I don't want to get rid of something my mom gave me. And like, oh, Aunt Susie 3 years ago, she gave me that. And that was so sentimental for her. And it's like, guys, if it's not filling you up, it has served its purpose. Thank it and let it go. With all things, right? So clearing out your space to allow more abundance to come in. From there, you are going to be amazed at how clear you are getting uploads, you are getting downloads, you are getting these divine guiding desires that are just going to point you in the most effortless and easy direction to get to your goals. Obstacles that you once believed existed will magically be gone, right? And I don't have the words to better explain it. If you guys want to experience this, you're just going to have to try it out, right? Action. You have to take the action steps here. This is way more than just thinking. This is way more than just thought. So I think that's probably where I wanted to end at today. If you guys are looking for more information on this, come back to my Instagram page, go to my Facebook page. If you go to @coach.caitlinblack on either Facebook or Instagram, well, if you're on Instagram, you know where I'm at. But for Facebook, you guys might not know where my page is at or my Instagram is at. So go to @coach.caitlinblack, KAITLYNN. Yeah, you get it. And all my posts for the rest of this week are all going to be talking about pretty similar topics and building onto ideas that I'm talking about within my lives. Does anybody want to share anything right before I sign off? I would love if someone has a desire that has been eating at them, that's something that they want to pursue, but they just feel weird around it. They feel like there's maybe not the right step in front of them. Let's talk about it. Someone share it and let's coach it out. I know that takes a lot of vulnerability, but I invite you guys to embrace it. I'll give you guys just a few minutes to see if anyone's typing. But otherwise, guys, I don't want to give off the vibe that this is complicated. It's really, really simple. When you create an environment around yourself that feels good and that you are supported in and that you have someone holding space for you to go to that next level, right? They talk to you on that next level. They're not talking to reality Kate, right now Kate, that was built off of the past. They're talking to the potential for the future. That is a huge game changer. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna touch on this and then we'll go, because this is important. The difference between having my friends tell me that I was worthy of doing more, or having my boyfriend tell me that I was worthy of doing more, or having my mom, after telling her what I needed to hear, tell me that I'm worthy of doing more, is that they themselves don't know how to hold that next level space because they've never taken that next level. No offense to them, right? Because this is a very specific thing that I'm looking for. Creators, women creators who are looking to empower other women, who are looking to spread joy, who are looking to give something so freeing, filled with so much freedom, right? It takes a huge space to hold that. It takes someone who has experienced stepping into that space to hold that space for you to experience, right? The environment is almost more important than your mindset because you are basically the sum of your environment. You're a byproduct of your environment. If you're not in the right environment, it's really, really freaking hard to up level. It's hard to step into that higher self. It's hard to step into your pure potential, right? So that's about all I got for today, guys. If you have questions, send them to me on Facebook, hit me up on Instagram. I am so here for you, to hear you, to hold space for you, and to let you taste what it feels like to step into this, right? I want to share this with you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm going to be doing another live tomorrow, as well as Saturday and Sunday, because Monday I have got a huge announcement I'm making. I want to say it so bad right now, but I just can't. I told myself I'd wait till Monday, and I am going to do that. So be on the lookout. Every day that I come on live, it's going to be becoming a little bit more clear and a little bit more clear as to what I am unleashing. And in the meantime, you guys have the options if you do want to work with me a little bit more one-on-one on things like what we're talking about currently. Go to my website, click on, I've got a private coaching tab, and then I also have a 90-minute like deep dive session where basically if you know what you want, you know your boundaries, you know your desires, you know your goals, you just need a little bit help piecing it all together and then slingshotting forward, right? You need the environment. I got you. So check out the website. Let me know if you guys want any help when it comes to that. I am here for you. I believe in you. And guys, celebrate yourself for where you're at now. Because the fact that you're here watching this, you're close. You're really close. So, all right, guys, logging off Facebook now. Thanks so much for joining me.